Are you a fan of Spider-Man? Then I have the best comics that you need to read to fully understand Spider-Man as a character and the character's history. So here we go. First up, you gotta read the original classic comic where it all started. This was in Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first appearance in the origin of Spider-Man. You get to see how he became Spider-Man and what had led him down to this road. But if you're not a fan of the old school classic Marvel comic reading, then I recommend this book here. It's called Spider-Man Season 1. This is a great modern retelling of the events of Amazing Fantasy 15 and the first couple issues of the original Amazing Spider-Man series. Also, I recommend The Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 1 from 1964. This is Spider-Man's first battle against the Sinister Six. So you get to see an introduction to a lot of Spider-Man's, bigger villains. You get to see Sandman, Electro, Vulture, Dr. Octopus, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio. And it's a really good introduction to a lot of villains in one book. Next, we got a really big book in Spider-Man's history, The Amazing Spider-Man number 50, Spider-Man No More. This is a very classic, iconic piece of Marvel history, and it's also the book that inspired Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2 movie. Next, another really important piece of Spider-Man history. This is in The Amazing Spider-Man number 121 and 122, and this is the death of Gwen Stacy, who was Spider-Man's, original love interest before Mary Jane Watson. So a really big piece of Spider-Man's history. Highly recommend these books to read. Next, moving on about a few hundred issues, we got The Amazing Spider-Man number 252. This is the first introduction of the black suit Spider-Man. So Spider-Man gains the suit on an alien world just to find out that it's alive and it's not just a suit. And this will also lead into the creation of Venom, one of Spider-Man's deadliest enemies. Next, we have Web of Spider-Man number 117. This is the beginning of the Clone Saga, a very large event from the 90s that happened to Spider-Man, where it turns out that Spider-Man, someone's cloning a bunch of Spider-Man to create, chaos in Peter Parker's life. It's a very long event. You don't have to read all of it, but if you want to, this is where you need to start reading that event. Then in 2001, they released The Amazing Spider-Man number 36, an all-black cover. This issue was released a month after 9/11, and this book tells the story of 9/11 from Spider-Man's perspective. Being in New York, how did Spider-Man and the Marvel heroes deal with 9/11? Then we got The Amazing Spider-Man number 700, another very big monumental issue in Spider-Man history. I'm not going to spoil what happens because it's more of a modern comic. Check it out. It's a really good issue. Lastly, if you want some modern Spider-Man reading, I recommend The Amazing Spider-Man number 1. This is the 2018 series by Nick Spencer, a very good series that really takes Spider-Man back to his roots, and you really get like a classic Spider-Man feel in modern times.